What's up, gamers? Welcome to Battle Mallet Podcast, episode 41, Hexed, Nethermaze Rivals Review 3, Hexbane's Hunters. That was a mouthful.
That was a lot.
It was a lot. Yeah, so for anyone that isn't familiar, the Battle Mallet Podcast is a podcast following four busy gamers, their annual journey to the Nova Open Convention, playing games that they love and balancing life with those games. My name is Jerod Johnson, and I am joined tonight by Trace Hyde.
Burn all the witches.
And Jason Tabled Noob Murray.
Repent, for you have sinned.
So I like the flavorful intros there. I feel like I missed out. Maybe I'm the heretic. So we're excited about tonight's episode. Jason is really excited. He has been harping on this warband since the moment it got previewed. We're excited to talk about it. So in this episode, we're going to cover Hexbane Hunters from a Rivals perspective. So following the standard format, going through the objectives, the gambits, the upgrades that you want. What's the playstyle? What boards do you want? How do you beat them? What's the new player rating? So we'll dig into all of that in the meat of this episode. We also are getting caught up on kind of the current meta and some of the new universals. I and Jason both participated in the online community league this past, I guess, season, as they're calling it. So we've been playing some championships. So we want to talk about.
Some of us been playing and losing, but some of us actually made the playoffs. So congratulations to you.
Thank you.
I still suck again.
Yeah.
We suck again.
Hooray. No, but it's good and it's fun, and as busy as this time of year gets, there was a part of me that kind of wished that I hadn't made the cut, but I did. So here I am. So and I think 17 players made the cut. So
correct.
all but one of us got a bye. So I actually have a bye this week, which is convenient. Anyway, I feel like we're getting off track. So anyway, there is one card that we want to talk about that came out in the Universals for this release, or that will come out, I guess, this Saturday, that we want to talk about. I think we're going to save that for the outro, though, just for funsies. So after we get through everything. But
ooh, is that a cliffhanger?
It was nice.
You've committed us now.
I know, right? Somebody's going to have to use a timestamp to jump ahead in the episode if that's what they want to hear. Scroll through.
Some might say that it's the end phase.
Ooh.
Or is it?
Episode.
Or is it? I don't know. Maybe. Or, they'll listen to the podcast like I do at 1.8 speed and then try to have a normal conversation with somebody and be like, why are you talking so slow? Anyway, before we get into anything else, I thought it'd be good to catch up. Trace, what you been up to lately, bud?
I've played a lot of games, actually, since our last episode. I went to Age of Sigmar tournament. Did fairly well, seeing as how I haven't played an actual Age of Sigmar tournament in over 2 years. Went 2-3. I took Slaves to Darkness, played a Gloomspite Gitz player, and then back-to-back Maggotkin of Nurgle players. Ended up going 2-3, or two, yeah.
2 of 3, 2 and 1.
2 of 3, 2-1. Was a really nice event. There was 28 people there. It was a lot more than I thought it was going to be. It was hosted at Atomic Empire here in Durham, close to where we are. So if you were at that event and you were listening, I'm glad that you were there. It made for a great event. And then also I've gotten a couple games of Marvel Crisis Protocol under my belt over the past couple weeks. Played against Jason at our Monday meetup this past Monday, which would have been the 8th of August.
8th of August. Yes, 8th of August. And damn it, I would have won if I could have rolled one more wild. Come on, Hulk. Come on.
It is a game that literally came down to one die roll and 2 back-to-back 11 dice Hulk smashes.
Yeah. It was pretty. It was pretty.
It was an awesome game. It was a great game. And then just a couple of nights ago, Jerod and I actually got together and played a game of Marvel Crisis Protocol as well. And it was Criminal Syndicate and into the you were playing Brotherhood, right?
Yep.
Jerod was playing Brotherhood. He was trying to play all the conditions on me. It went well. It was a good game. It came down. I mean, the games that I've played, both of them came down to like they could have swung on a couple dice rolls, which is great. Good game design, good game balance. Lots of fun. How about you, Jason?
Yeah, I just want to elaborate on this Hulk roll again. So MCP for me, like, I love it. It's fun, but I don't know what it is, but at any game that I play, it gets so like visual for me, and I can just see like Hulk running. So there's Hulk. He's running up the side of the street. He's jumping over this this workstation, like this double wide trailer on this construction site. And he whips it at you, like he's like just throwing it. Haha! Throws a size 4 double wide at someone. I think that was on Black Cat, right? Or
you threw three objects at me within a turn and a half.
Yeah, it was fantastic. I like to throw the stuff, right? So we throw it, and you had, oh my goodness, what was the
the pair that was on that objective was Juggernaut and Taskmaster.
Yeah, Taskmaster, that's who it was. So I kind of get energy with Hulk. I grab Juggernaut and I just douche, right? Just beating Juggernaut up. Just love it every single day. And then when I beat him up, I throw Juggernaut into Taskmaster. So I've already thrown a double wide at Taskmaster. I'm throwing Juggernaut at Taskmaster because all I need is this wild. And then I unleash the fury that is Hulk one more time. And I literally, I roll 9 hits on 11 dice. Hits. And for those who don't play Marvel Crisis Protocol, it's very similar to Underworlds. Every single side of the die has a symbol, right? Yeah. A symbol. So I roll 9 hits and I need 1 wild so I can throw Juggernaut into Taskmaster again to KO Taskmaster into Daze Juggernaut. Well, I dazed Juggernaut, but I didn't get to KO Taskmaster, and then Taskmaster stabbed me with his steely knives, just like in Hotel California, and the Hulk fell. And that turned my flank, but it's so. And the other thing too is, if that doesn't happen, then Vision flies over there and heals up the Hulk, and then Trace is done.
Yep.
Forget it. It's over. So that was my one game. I'm on a losing streak, guys. So I've played a ton of games. The league, I've been bouncing around from Warband to Warband because I don't know what I want to take to Nova. We are at such an exciting spot in the meta for Underworlds that I want to play everything. Like, I have not played in an Underworlds tournament in real life in 3 years. And I'm just like that. I'm like Tommy Boy, and I got my shiny little thing, and I just love it. And oh, shiny pet, I love it. And then I go, and I mess it all up. And oh my goodness, I haven't won. I think I did win 1 game this season with some Godsworn Hunt, but it's been a lot of games, just having fun, rolling some dice, getting ready for Nova. But I haven't really hobbied all that much. Jerod, what have you done?
Yeah, so I'm with you. Not a lot of hobbying, and I did really well until the last release of Warbands. I have Black Powder and
Dyntalos.
No, they're not painted. I have Black Powder and Zandire and the Cunning Crew all painted, and I got them all painted before the Exiled Dead and Skittershank and the Shadeborn were released. But now I don't have anything painted, and Hexbane's Hunters comes out this weekend, so I'm not gonna live up to getting everything painted for Underworlds before the next thing comes out. But hopefully I'll get everything painted before. There's a good chance that I'll get everything painted before whatever those corn guys that they've teased are coming out. But a lot of games. I've been playing Headcracker's Mad Mob in the league, and I'm pretty sure that's what I'm going to take to Nova. I haven't really dug into the universals a lot that are coming in the Hexbane's box, so I don't know if that's going to change my deck any. But I don't know what it is. I like the Orcsies. And
that's when we're ready to go. Don't worry, I've already incorporated all the cards. We're a lock, steady, roll some dice.
I love it. Let's do it.
It's a terrible idea. This is terrible.
It is a terrible idea, but you'll have fun.
Yeah, you're doing pretty well with Headcracker. I think you're onto something.
Yeah, I think. I mean, I think there's some good stuff there. So and then some MCP. Been running around. I did X-Force almost exclusively for a long time. I've gotten a couple of games in with X-Men with Storm as the leader, which is fun because she's a threat 3 leader, which opens up room for other fighters to come in and more fighters. And then the past couple of games I've played Brotherhood. So one with Magneto as the leader and one with Mystique as the leader. And the last game I played, I used against Traced, I used Mr. Sinister and Omega Red just because I have those models and I wanted to get them on the table. And I'm not sure that they synergize as well with Mystique. I think they'd do better with Magneto so he can feed them power. But anyway, before this becomes a Marvel Crisis Protocol episode, which we should probably do at some point, we won't need to dig any further into that. But it has been a lot of fun to play it, to get some really cool cinematic moments happening on the tabletop.
We could entice our 4th member of our podcast to come on the podcast.
That's true, yeah, because the game that I played at our game night was against Danny running Guardians of the Galaxy, and he had Angela and Valkyrie. And let me tell you, if you daze Valkyrie and she has 10 power when she comes out of that daze,
you're in trouble.
It is bad news bears. Bad news bears. She can do some
train.
Listen, it's never bad news when you get to play Magneto and throw all the things.
I did. I threw all the things, and then I think Rogue ended up throwing. I can't remember the order of events. Rogue either threw Nebula into someone to daze Nebula, or threw someone into Nebula to daze her. I don't remember what it was, but it was good times were had by all. It was, and I hucking trash cans and cars and giant buildings. And then Angela was there, and she threw a garbage truck at Juggernaut. So that was fun. It was awesome.
It's like, what other game has interactive terrain like that?
Yeah,
it's just so. I threw Juggernaut. I threw you. Aha! You are like the unstoppable Juggernaut, but not here. Not with this Hulk, man.
He didn't stop. He was still moving. You were just telling him which way to go. That's all.
I really wish this was a vodcast tonight.
I know. We're getting animated. It's exciting.
Because Jason is extremely animated.
No. Yeah, so that's what I've been up to. I'm excited. We have another. I think we'll get one more meetup in before Nova happens. And at some point I need to play some Age of Sigmar. Maybe.
Well, the group is very active in Age of Sigmar, so maybe you should schedule that.
Yeah, I know. I could. Yeah.
We have a bunch of people now that in the group that play Age of Sigmar.
True. Yep. Yeah. We should do that. Anyway, so I think that's everything that we've got going on. Nova is 3 weeks away.
Yep.
That's scary.
Yep.
So cool. Well, I guess that's it. We'll wrap up the intro here, and when we'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll talk about Hexbane's Hunters.
And we're back after a minor diversion during the break to talk about Marvel Crisis Protocol. We are back to talk about Hexbane Hunters Rivals deck and shed some light in the Nethermaze. Bring all the hunters. So this is a 6-fighter warband that is really the epitome of glass cannon. There is so much to unpack in these fighters. We're not going to do it justice verbally, so try to stay with us because there is just a lot of nuance, but the models are freaking amazing. Like a guy with a pistol and a torch and a big dude with armor and this big axe, and then another guy with the man with a mask on, and he's got just a bow and arrow with a bomb on it. A bow and arrow with a bomb.
It's not a bow and arrow, it's a crossbow.
Oh, even better. And then you got this other lady that's got a 3-barrel gun. Oh my, like, what is going on? And then the chef's kiss.
Not one,
this wonderful warband. There's not one,
but two.
But two loyal companions that are Mastiff dogs. I love the Mastiffs. My family has had Mastiffs. I just tugs at all my heartstrings. I love this warband. So again, 6-fighter warband. It does have 2 beasts, and that's where we'll start. So they have Rat Spike and Biter, right?
Biter. Yeah.
Yep.
Biter.
Both Biter and Rat Spike.
Both companions of Quiet Pock. They're movement 4, 1 dodge, 2 wounds, and 2 wounds are kind of the theme of this warband. And they, uninspired, they have a range 1, 2 fury, 1 damage attack. But really where you can start to utilize them is if a friendly, loyal hunter makes a move action, this loyal hound can react and move as well. So there's really some action economy. So it says reaction, use this after a friendly hunter's move action. This fighter makes 1 move action. And correct me if I'm wrong, Jerod, but I don't see a condition where they could not have multiple move counters.
Nope.
That's correct.
Yeah. So it's a declared specific action. So it's just like the Dance Macabre. They make a move action regardless of whatever other tokens they have. So they could even charge and then still react and make this move action.
Some really good action economy here, right? They're basically like free supports, and then if you need them to, they can take a bite out of crime. Oh no, come on now. McGruff was, I'm pretty sure he was a Mastiff, but whatever.
He was.
God, it's just...
I think he was a hound dog. Come on, he was a drug dog.
No, I think he was a Mastiff. It's better. It's more fitting.
Okay.
Put McGruff as the tile for the episode, please.
We'll pretend that McGruff was a Mastiff.
Or it could just be, you could paint this guy red and have Clifford the big red dog. I mean, one or the other.
He was totally a bloodhound, by the way.
Yeah. Or you could just put a jersey on him, call him Hercules, and then look, you got Squints, and I mean, it's just fantastic. Smalls. Yep, you got them all. All right. Anyway, I'm way off topic. I love it. So the dogs inspire when a friendly other dog is out of action or a Quiet Pock is out of action. So they are all kind of linked together. The other nice thing about the hounds is the first one that is taken out of action by an enemy does not give up a glory.
Pretty good.
It's pretty sound.
It's usually the 2 wound, 1 dodge little beasties are ripe for glory farming.
I just don't remember where I read that. So
what, this fighter has no bounty unless a friendly Biter is out of action?
There you go.
This fighter has no bounty unless a friendly Rat Spike is out of action. So
Got it.
Verbiage is on the other named dog's fighter card.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just, when you have it like zoomed out, can't really see that stuff. And then Quiet Pock, we'll go to him next because he is their loyal companion. Quiet Pock is a hunter. He is move 3, and that's really the only downfall of this warband, other than the 2 wounds, is that the move 3 can be very limiting. But don't worry, they make up with it in weapons. So he's move 3. He has 2 block just to start, which is a fantastic defense roll. 2 wounds, so he is a little fragile on the wounds. And then he has the crossbow de Launchar that, uninspired, has range 3, 2 hammers for 2 damage, knockback 1, and then a wonderful thing called reload, which means that you can only make this attack action once per round. So very similar to the Stormcast, Storm of Celestis, right?
Yep.
So, so he has Path to Victory, which we'll get to when we get to the leader, as well as a melee attack where he's going to hit you with the stock of that crossbow for 2 fury, 1 damage. Again, he inspires when one of the doggos is out of action on his inspired side. He stays move 3, 2 block, 2 health, but his launcher crossbow degrader. No, that didn't make. The boom boom stick, three away for 3 hammers, 2 damage, and then I'm pretty sure knockback 2.
Yep.
Again,
It is
a little
knockback
blurry.
2. Yeah.
Still has reload, and then his melee goes to 2 hammers, still 1 damage. So pretty good opening salvo there from those 3 fighters. Then we can move to the big brute. So Amos, Dune, Caro, Caro.
I'd probably say Duncaro.
Dune?
Duncaro.
No, it's Dune. I like Dune better.
Okay.
It looks like a Harkonnen. It just reminds me of Dune. So 3 move, 1 block, 3 health. So a little bit better here. He has a range 1, 2 hammer, 2 damage attack. So a pretty standard attack. He once again has the Path to Victory. He is a brawler and he's a hunter. But he has reassuring presence. So he's just he's just there. He's just big, foreboding. So when he is within 2 hexes of another friendly hunter, and that hunter is attacked, that attack they get supports from him within 2. So he can really boost some defensive capabilities on the warband when he inspires, and he inspires if the enemy takes a stab at his fearless leader and Haskell. So if Haskell is attacked, he inspires and he gets cleave and 3 hammers on his attack. Keeps everything else, but 3 hammers on a 2 damage attack with cleave. Mighty, mighty good. And then we'll go to Bridget next. Bridget, also a hunter, move 3. She is on 1 dodge, so she's probably one of the most frail hunters that you have in the warband. She inspires when your leader Haskell inspires, so she also has probably the hardest inspire condition. And if you lose your leader, too bad, so sad for Miss Bridget. But she has a melee attack, range 1, 3 fury, 2 damage, so very reputable melee attack with her beautiful axe there. And then her awesome volley pistol, range 3, 2 hammers, 1 damage. You're like, oh, that's nothing. But this is a volley pistol. It's a hand cannon. So you can react the first time this attack action is made in each round. If this fighter is adjacent when making that attack action, you can pick one. Give it an additional dice, so 3 dice, 1 damage, or add 2 damage to the hand cannon. So 2 hammers for 3 damage if she's blasting you in the face. In the face! So then when she inspires, again, off of Haskell, if he's inspired, she gains scything on her melee attack. So 3 hammers, 2 damage with scything, very useful. And then she continues to have the volley attack with the same option to add dice or damage, but now it gains cleave, and she gains a defense dice. So she goes to 2 dodge. And then our fearless leader, Hexbane himself. He's a hunter. He is a leader. Move 3, 1 block, so not too bad. 3 wounds, which in Rivals, 3 wounds is not too shabby. He has a range 3, 3 fury pistol with 1 damage in Grievous. So that is great, wonderful. I like it. He does not have a melee on his uninspired side. He inspires when he takes an enemy fighter out of action, and that's going to be a little bit hard to do. Hopefully we're rolling a lot of crits. When he does inspire, he stays the same, 3 move, 1 block, 3 wounds. His pistols and lose the Grievous, but they now become a flat 2 damage, which is really good. And then he gains a melee attack, so he's gonna swing that torch around. He's on 2 hammers, 2 damage with Grievous, so he becomes pretty good fighter at this point. All that is good and great, but here's really where like the warband kind of gets its nuance and becomes glass hammers. So every single one of the hunters, so Hexbane, Amos, Pock, and Bridget all have Price of Victory. And this reads, reaction, use this after a friendly hunter is dealt damage that would take them out of action. After the out of action check, give this fighter 1 upgrade from your hand or remove 1 charge or move token from the fighter. Do not spend any glory points when you play this. That is one of the most powerful reactions that we've seen to date. So not only are some of my fighters inspiring off of other people fighter like deaths, but now if I lose Quiet Pock, I can put an upgrade on a Hexbane for free. If I lose Quiet Pock and Amos is already charged, I can remove that charge token and charge again. Or maybe I have to reposition, so I've moved. Now I can remove that move token and charge. It is so great. Yes, your fighters are squishy, so this rewards you for losing fighters, and that's where the nuance in Glass Cannon come into this warband, and it's the thing that you're going to have to practice and get used to the most. Again, it's only on hunters, so losing a dog does not trigger the Price of Victory, but it's awesome. Gentlemen, what do you think of the victory?
I think it's costly, but worth the price.
Oh.
No, I agree. I think it's probably one of the most powerful like warband wide abilities that we've seen, just because it changes the board state so drastically. Like, you kill a fighter and suddenly that dude that had already charged is now ripe for the picking to charge again. That's awesome.
Yeah. That's really, like, being able to remove a charge token is a big deal.
Yeah, of those things, like, being able to add upgrade is awesome. But I think the real jewel there is you can charge and then charge again if somebody gets domed, which is crazy.
Yeah, but because we've played this game so long that once a fighter is charged, you kind of forget about them, right? Like, it's like, oh, I can attack them in my last activation. Not so much here. If you go after another fighter, that fighter can, charge again.
Yeah. Yeah. So now you're torn. Like, do I try to take out the fighter that's already charged? But then that just leaves you vulnerable to fighters that haven't activated yet. But then if you go for the unactivated fighter, then it's like, yeah, it's exactly what you said. Now I'm making myself vulnerable to this fighter that's potentially in my territory or like right in my grill.
I think it's just safe to say that, like, no matter what you do, you don't have a good option when you're targeting somebody in the warband. Yeah. So, like, you just need to understand that you're always threatened. It's not a scenario where you can kill a fighter and be like, okay, there's no more activations, I'm good. Like, you're always threatened. So just be aware of that.
Yeah.
Like, you want to attack my leader and take him out of action? That's okay. This guy's going to inspire. He's going to get a free upgrade, and he's going to smack you with his woodcutter.
It's going to take you to the woodshed.
Well, great. So I know that we're not doing that justice, and I just want to re-emphasize, like, you will have to play, and this is a very Swiss Army knife warband. You have to understand what you're doing with certain fighters, who you're risking, what happens if they don't take your bait and attack whoever you want them to attack. What are your options after that? So this warband has a lot of nuance, but it can really hit hard, right? And it rewards you for losing a fighter. And when you have 4 2-wound fighters, it's kind of nice, right? So that's the warband objectives. Trace, we've got, so this, just for transparency things, so there's 12 objectives, no surprise there, right? But there's only 4 surges in this Rivals deck. Are they good, and what are we going for turn 1?
So the one that immediately jumps to mind is Due Process. And Due Process is a Surge hybrid, and it says score this immediately after your Warband makes a 4th or subsequent attack action in the same round, or after the second or subsequent a successful attack action made by your Warband in the same round. So we've just talked about, and this is kind of just looping in back to what we just talked about with the fighter cards. You are going to be able to attack a lot with these guys, either through your own means or killing somebody else, and then you get to attack with that same person again. I think it's a really solid card. It's one of the best surges that I think we've seen in a long time. You just take 4 actions and attack, or you have the second successful attack action. So 2 successful or 4 just attacks. There used to be a card called Keep Chopping that we used to all love. Yeah. And it was 4 attack actions. Well, this one's even better. So
this is pretty good. Just wish there was some flavor text on there that said like "I am the law" or something.
That would be funny.
Very, very good surge. Very well written. You will see this I think you take this surge no matter what format you're playing.
Yeah, you're taking this one Championship, Rivals Plus, Rivals. Like, you have to take it Rivals, but it's definitely making it into your surge deck too, or into your Championship deck.
All right, so we've mulliganed. We got Due Process. What else are we hoping for, Jerod?
Yeah, so we'll dig into this, and this is going to come up a lot. I think that you kind of have to have a plan based on your opponent. So a lot of the other warbands that we've covered, it doesn't really matter what you're facing. Your objective deck, the objectives that you're looking for are largely the same. And because of the way this warband plays, with the utility that is baked into them, that actually changes. So for the next objective that we want to pick, I've actually picked 2 depending on the situation. We've picked 2, so we talked about this. So the first one is if you're facing a Horde warband and there are a ton of 2-wound fighters, then you want Burn Them Out in your opening objective hand. And it's a surge, score this immediately after an enemy fighter on a starting hex in enemy territory is taken out of action. So, you got a low wound fighter, a high model warband with a bunch of low wound fighters. This one's going to be pretty straightforward. You've got reasonably accurate attacks. With 6 fighters, you're going to be able to get close. So that's going to be, pretty likely. But if you're facing an elite warband, then you probably want Weapons of Justice. And this is a surge. Score this immediately after a friendly fighter is given their second or subsequent upgrade in the same round, or after a second or subsequent move or charge token is removed from a friendly fighter during the action phase. So second upgrade could be pretty straightforward. You can apply an upgrade for free if somebody else in your warband dies, and that's going to be pretty likely turn 1 unless you're fighting a not aggressive elite warband. And that can be supplemented with gambits as we'll get into, or removing a second or subsequent move or charge token. There are options there as well. So the price of victory reaction lets you remove those. There are options in the gambit in the gambits for doing that as well. So Horde warband, you're looking for Burn Them Out. Elite warband, you're looking for Weapons of Justice. And then what's the last thing? What's the end phase that we want to see as early as possible, Jason?
Uncover the Truth.
Gosh, these names are so good.
They are.
They really are.
So this is end phase. Score this in end phase if there are 2 or more friendly fighters in enemy territory. And this is probably so if I'm playing that Horde warband, that you just talked about, I'm probably choosing to go second. Hopefully I win that roll off. And I'm going to leverage the dogs on this bad boy. So score this in end phase if there are 2 more friendly fighters in enemy territory. And remember, I can move all my hunters around and the dogs can move and get into their territory. I want a dog to be taken out of action to inspire the other two. Let's get him over there. If I can get Quiet Pock or somebody else over there too and have 3 fighters just for insurance, great. But it's an awesome last activation move to pop across, use some range damage, get a shot in, and score a glory, setting me up for turn 2.
Love it.
Love it.
Yep.
The other card that I really, really like, and I always do this where we get like totally sidetracked, but it plays so well into this warband, and that's Lives Well Spent. Like, it kind of keeps you in the game. So the card, it's a duel. Score this in end phase. 2 or more friendly fighters are out of action, and you have scored 3 or more objectives. So if everything goes to plan, we score 2 surges, we scored Uncover Truth. That sets this up, like, because I'm probably going to lose 2 hunters through the course of the game, and I'm going to score 2 glory. And it's not a third end phase scorer. It's like just regular scored any end phase. Plus, I love the corpse pile on the card, which just really reminds me of Game of Thrones. That's why I love this warband. There's just things sprinkled in all over.
You just add in Pure Carnage to this deck, and you're good to go.
Ooh.
Yep.
No way. 5 total glory? Oh, but that's a different format.
Yeah.
Remember, only a life spent fighting evil is a life worth living.
That's awesome.
All right, so on to the gambits. And some of these names are just like by hook or crook.
Awesome.
But anyway, so Jerod, what gambit do you want to support your opening hand?
By Order of the Vault.
Ooh, by order.
This is a gambit. Choose a friendly fighter. Give the chosen fighter an upgrade from your hand. So we talked about Weapons of Justice. When you play this card, you can spend 1 glory. If you do, draw 1 power card. So first, you can play an upgrade for free, but if you have the glory to spend, then you can play that upgrade and then draw a power card. So like keying into the objectives that you want, because they're objectives for having fighters with upgrades. Yeah, so being able to play an upgrade without any glory early on. Like, you could do this, you let your opponent go first, you play this, you throw an upgrade onto a fighter that, like, you don't have any seed glory yet, you can still go in and do some work.
Yeah.
I like it a lot.
That Swiss Army knife, right? And
Yep.
And as the Godsworn player, I'm just like, why don't I have a card like that? Anyway. So, second gambit, Trace, what else would we like to see?
You stand accused. So you stand accused
I need a soundbite of that so I can just play that every time I play the card.
Yeah. So this is actually like a marked for death card, which is really cool. This card it's just a regular gambit ploy. Choose 1 enemy fighter plus 1 dice to attack actions made by friendly fighters that target the chosen fighter. This effect persists until the fighter is out of action or ends an activation in your territory. So there's ways you can turn it off, but getting flat plus 1 dice to every attack that's made against that fighter. I mean, if you look at Haskell Hexbane, like, one of his whole deals is to try and kill a fighter, so he could just shoot with 4 dice and Grievous, like, he's going to probably get a crit in there a couple times. So, like, I think it just plays really well into the very aggressive nature of the actual fighters and their attack profiles. It's awesome. It's really, really good.
Yeah, it's a great card. Great opening hand, gives you the dice at any range against that fighter, and it also kind of like challenges them, right? Like, one of the keys that we're trying to overcome with this warband is we only have 3 movement. Well, now I'm like, if you just stand right there, I'm just gonna keep shooting you with Haskell. Like, it's just here it comes. I'm gonna get Grievous. I'm gonna start doing some damage.
Yeah.
Come attack me. Like, come on. And now the rest of the warband can just swarm that enemy and say, get off my lawn. All right, Jerod, you want to do number 3?
Well, you didn't get to do 1.
It's okay. I'm passing. I take the official pass action.
Well, for the order, I will take the next gambit, which is for the order. So this is a reaction gambit. Play this in your power step after a friendly hunter is given an upgrade. Remove all move and charge tokens from that hunter. So you could play a gambit. So now let's go back to by the order of the vault, right? So now you charge without anything. People start ignoring that fighter. Then in your next power step, you play by order of the vault. You give them an upgrade. Maybe you have glory. You spend it. You get to draw another card. And then you play for the order. So now you've given them an upgrade and you've removed their move and charge tokens. So yeah.
It's pretty good. And like it also like this wombo combo in a rivals deck, oh my goodness, allows you to overcome once the move limitation. And you have Pock and you have Bridget that have these ranged attacks, but they always can't leverage the full capacity of them. Pock can only do it once. Bridget, you want to do it the first time, the best time, right? So now you can send them in, get them loaded up, and maybe they can make another charge action to like get full leverage of what they're doing. Or in Pock's case, he's just attacking with his melee attack. So for the order, it is. I'd be remiss if I don't point out like Lead the Crusade, because we don't often see these type of cards anymore.
Yeah.
So this is reaction. Play this after the out of action check for a friendly hunter's attack action. If the target was taken out of action, choose one friendly hunter, inspire that hunter, and draw one power card.
So good.
It's like, so yes, I have to take someone out of action, right? Like, so if my hunter is killing an enemy, taking them out of action. Now I can inspire, and if you do this the best way, you'll inspire Hexbane, and then that'll inspire Bridget.
Yep.
So, and
but it also gives you a way to inspire Bridget if your leader's out of action too.
Correct.
So that's really, really good.
Seems pretty strong.
Seems good. So we're through the gambits. Now I need to pick some upgrades. And these are really important in our opening hand, because if I lose a hunter, I'm going to get one for free. We have gambits that put them on for free. But I will say, out of all the warbands in Underworlds, this deck has the most restricted upgrades that I think we've seen. It has 7 fighter restricted upgrades. Now, some of that may be just restricted to hunter, which means the dogs don't get it. But there are a lot of named upgrades. Like there's one that goes just on your leader. There's another one that goes on Pock. There's another one that can go on Bridget or Hexbane. There's another one that can go Amos just on too. Amos as well. So the upgrades become part of the utility. So what would we love to see opening hand turn 1, Jerod? What are you looking for? Hopefully you're lucky to get it.
Yeah, so I want the Charmed Horseshoe. So this is +1 dice to this fighter's attack actions. So no restriction on the range of those attack actions. So you can give it to Hexbane to try to kick off his Grievous. You can give it to Pock so that your explosive grenade crossbow is more accurate. And it also grants Ensnare. So the dodge prevalence that exists, you're going to be able to get around. So I think, it's probably one of the best +1 dice cards in the game, in that it applies to all ranged attack, like all ranges of attack actions, but then to also grant Ensnare is really good.
It's like I got a horseshoe just wedged right up there.
Yeah.
Man, it's really good lucky charm.
So good.
Trace, what else is really good?
Oh my God, they're all good.
They're all
restrictive, but I'll say this: they're some of the most robust upgrades in the game. Like almost all of them have multiple layers of stuff that they can do. Like this next one we're going to talk about. I dug into my pack before I left on my crusade to kill some witches and burn them all, and I got out my lucky Hexbeak foot. and it is +1 defense. And I cannot be dealt damage by lethals or gambits. What? That's 2 separate upgrades in any other
Yeah.
+1 defense. Was just a flat card that we talked about with the rats a couple weeks ago. It only had +1 defense. And then there's other cards that just say you cannot be targeted by lethal or by dealt damage by lethals or gambits. And this is on 1 card and no restrictions. You just put it on a dude, +1 defense. I don't care about your gambits. I don't care about those lethals. I'm going to charge through the fire because there's fire all over these Warband art cards, by the way. So they really do not give an F about the fire.
Yeah,
so they will run straight through it and murder you.
Yep.
It's almost like they were raised by dragons. The beautiful thing about this card, and some of the listeners go, but lethals aren't everywhere, right? Because in previous seasons, lethals were that season's gloom, right? So cover X's are everywhere now. Lethals are not as prevalent, but what this upgrade can do, because you're a 6-fighter warband, if you have this upgrade, you're able to position a fighter or take a board that has a lethal that gives you better positioning and not worrying about that fighter being driven into that lethal hex.
Yep.
So awesome. All right, Jerod, taking the pass action again. What's the third and final upgrade that you want in your opening hand?
Yeah, so it's another defensive upgrade. This is the Protective Brand. So a little masochism, flagellation happening here with this warband. So they have branded themselves with some protective wards. You could reroll 1 dice in this fighter's defense rolls, which is pretty good on most of the fighters because they end up on two dice anyway. But the kicker being the target of this fighter's attack actions cannot have supporting fighters, and attackers that target this fighter cannot have supporting fighters. This card cannot be broken. So when you are targeting somebody, they don't provide any support to the enemy fighter, and then if you are being targeted, no other fighters provide support. So sucks to suck if you're the Cunning Crew.
You're right.
Yeah. Or
again, the theme continues. These used to be 2 separate upgrades. This is 1 upgrade.
No. But I think it fits because they are glass cannons, right? Like your dice are not going to work for you every time. And so they have to be good. I'm curious because I didn't think about this. Would this block Cunning Crew Inspire?
Probably.
Yeah.
Because it says the target cannot have supporting fighters, and then attackers cannot have supporting fighters.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow, that would be infuriating. I mean, it doesn't. Stars align, right? Like that you get this upgrade out, that you get it on early, but still,
it's only 1 fighter that has it, right?
Right.
The other thing that it really brings into check, and that's why I love this warband, is it's like designed to go after death warbands, and the Exiled Dead becomes so efficient at attacking when you are surrounded. And this is just I'm good. Like Bridget with scything, just standing there on inspired with 2 dodge and saying,
"Oh my gosh,
you don't get supports, my friends."
That's so crazy good.
And then it's just I love it. And then if I have that, I'm putting on Cold Iron Nails on Bridget as I'm standing in the middle of your zombie troop, scything away. And Cold Iron Nails says each time this fighter's range 1 attack action takes a target out of action, pick 1, gain 1 glory point, or the target can't be raised. Place the affected target's fighter card to one side to remind both players. Just, you want to know what? You're not coming back, Dantalos. I'm really sorry. Or I'm just going to continue to glory farm all of your zombies.
Yeah.
That's ridiculously good.
And, and again, these are best case scenarios, and I get it. They're glass cannon. You're going to lose fighters. We need the right cards. But it's just really cool. You have these gambits that are giving you additional draw. So I'm drawing cards into my hand. And if I do lose a fighter, I can apply these upgrades or make another attack action with someone. It has my mind melting, and I love it, and I want more of it. And Jared's showing me the retractable pistol where I'm just going to shoot. What am I going to do with the retractable pistol?
Yeah, so I can't not bring this one up. So this is an upgrade for Haskell, Hexbane, or Bridget Axwold. It is a range 4, 3 fury, 1 damage attack with the surprise characteristic. So surprise is a reaction. Use this after an enemy fighter's move action. This fighter makes this attack action. It must target that enemy fighter and cannot drive the target back. So a reaction attack at range 4. I mean, it's only 1 damage, and it will only ever be 1 damage because this attack action's characteristics cannot be modified. And it's not going to like block a charge, right? Like you can't drive back from it, but still, like to be able to get an extra ping of damage off during your opponent's activation is pretty good.
I think what I like about all these cards is something that we were just talking about in the intro, which was, you know, Marvel Crisis Protocol has this thing where you're basically playing moments, right? So what they've found in these cards, and what I think is really cool, is that you can set up moments like that, right? So like the one that Jason just talked about, where Bridget is fighting back the horde of zombies or the horde of skeletons, and she's just doming them all with the iron nails in the forehead or whatever. Like, that's a really cool thematic scenario, and it may not come up every time, but when that does happen, you're going to be like, this is awesome. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I think that's one of the reasons why Jason is also so jazzed, is because he's playing through his theater of the mind right now of these different scenarios that he just wants to see.
Yeah.
I do like it. Like, it's awesome. Like, and that's what oh my Lord. So I have that. I have the retractable pistol on. You Dantalos dance forward. I react, shoot you from 4 away after the move, right? Oh, wait. I can't react.
You
Never
can't
mind.
react during
Whatever.
the dance.
I can't. Damn it.
But if
someone
Regulus charges somebody else, or the Harvester comes in and charges somebody that's within 4 of Haskell who's got the retractable pistol on. Like,
yes. Right. Anyone else comes in, a 2-wound fighter. Just stay with me here.
Or somebody used partial resurrection to bring somebody back.
Right.
And then you use it.
Yeah. So you come in, I retractable pistol you. It's in your turn. Surprise, I'm shooting you. I'm doing 1 damage. Not a big deal, right? Nah, whatever, 1 damage. Okay, fine. Whatever. Here it comes, because then the next power step, in your power step, I get to go first to play a card, and I'm going to play Making a Point. Choose a friendly Amos, Bridget, or Haskell. The chosen fighter makes one of the following attack actions. Range 3, 2 fury, 1 damage. Oh, wow. Yay, Jason. Great. No, it's got finisher. So here's your 2-wound fighter, and I'm going to get a +1 dice, and I'm going to get cleave. So screw your zombie. I'm coming through that 1 shield. Done. You're done, son. And I'm getting a glory.
I wish everybody could just see.
In the power step.
I could see the wheels just going in Jason's head.
I think this is probably one of the most strongly themed warbands.
I agree. If they continue on this trend, I think you're going to see a lot of folks really enjoy playing like Rivals and Rivals Plus with folks like this, because I think it just really leans into that theme. Are we not going to talk about Woodcutter's Strength?
Yeah,
we talked about everything else.
Yeah,
Woodcutter's Strength. Take me through it, because it is my Lord. This will be my card, Trace. This is it. This is my glory.
No, this is a corn card in the wrong warband is what this is. So this is an upgrade, and it's only for Amos, and it is +1 damage to this fighter's range 1 attack actions for each success or critical success in the attack roll. Let me read that again for those in the back. +1 damage to this fighter's range 1 attack actions for each success or critical success in the attack roll. You roll flush on this thing, And you're talking like up to like 8 damage, depending on how many dice you're rolling. It's nuts. Like if you've got the +1 dice from you stand accused, and then so maybe 7, right? So it's like 3 on his card when he's inspired. 3 on his card when he's inspired, +1 die.
Yeah.
So you're looking at 8. You're looking at 8 damage. Or no. Yeah, 6 damage. 6 damage. But still, that's 1 dead ogre. And it's aptly got the ogre on the card.
Yep.
Like,
that's awesome.
What the heck?
It's beautiful.
It's so much fun. In the beauty of Woodcutter's strength, it's great in Rivals. I hope someone takes out a big fighter. We know that there's not a lot of damage in Rivals, but the beauty of this card is it is not Grievous, so I can stack Grievous on this. I can stack Martyr's. I
was going to say you just put Martyr's Fervor on. And
Fervor on there, right? Like I can stack other damage on top of it. I love crits. Everyone knows I love like Grievous. This is Grievous on
It's
steroids.
a better Grievous.
It's amazing.
It's way better.
And it doesn't even say hammers and crits. It's excessive.
No, it
so
just
if you've
says
got
successes.
supports.
Yeah.
Wait, my dogs can give me more damage? Tell me more.
Sold.
Tell me more.
I'll buy 7 right now.
And then
slamming the credit card on the counter.
And so Jason mentions Martyr's Fervor, which is basically a what's the card? I said it before we started recording.
Glory Seeker.
The Glory Seeker, but it's for range 1 and range 2 attacks. So now you've got +1 damage to this fighter's range 1 and range 2 attack actions that target a fighter with a wounds characteristic of 4 or more. Okay. You could kill Mollog in 1 round of combat.
That's true.
Coming
roll
for
enough
Mollog.
Got
Got you.
On his 1 shield.
Yep.
Who cares? I mean, he's got cleave. Who cares?
Yeah, that's right.
Enjoy your crit. If you can crit 1 time, it doesn't matter because I'm going to beat you with the number of successes.
Got it.
Like,
it just like again, damage is hard to come by. So you have Amos that rewards good dice rolls. We know how that goes. But to Jared's point, like I can be supported by a dog. That can be awesome.
You can be supported by 2 dogs.
Yeah. Because he's a hunter.
Oh no, you only one reaction. You only get 1 window. Only one of them can react to the window.
Yeah, but if you're playing this in a Rivals deck and you've got a push.
I don't think they have any pushes. A Rivals plus deck.
I'm talking about a Rivals plus deck,
Yeah.
You put a push in there from somewhere if you've got one. Either you push the target towards you or you push the dog towards them.
Yep.
And then you charge, the dog reacts to come in.
Yep.
You've got double supports and you're just rolling your royal flush and watching something die.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Seems pretty good.
Crazy good.
All right, Jason. What boards do we want before we go through the entire power deck?
I love it. I love it. So boards. What was the name of the board that we were playing with there?
Menhir's of Binding.
There you go. Sure. So really, what I would like to do on deployment is leverage that I have ranged fighters. So being at the back of the board is not terrible, but I want to find a centrally located starting hex that's kind of mid board that gives me access to other starting hexes that are within 1 or 2 away from them. So when I deploy, I can make sure that I'm maximizing my defense with Amos in the center, providing those additional supports to all my other hunters. I probably push a dog really close to no man's land, baiting for that dog to go away so I can inspire Pock and the other dog. And if they don't take that bait, that's okay because I'm 1 step closer to getting into your territory, right? I probably hold Bridget back, but your plan could be completely different, and that's the beauty of this. Like you could bait Bridget because she can do the 3 damage, right? And like kind of then soup up somebody else with the upgrades. But yeah, the way I'm going is Amos, then Quiet Pock is kind of towards the front line, but making sure I get those supports because nothing like standing on a gloom if I can get there with two shields and an additional support. The only thing I'm failing on is his dodges, right? And then Haskell could be the other. He could be the other really push piece. So there are some great upgrades from him late game once he's inspired. He can be a real beast, but him getting attacked early allows Amos to get inspired. So you have some options, but the board I want centrally located so I can really maximize the defense.
Sweet.
Okay. So Jerod, playstyle.
Yeah, so we've mentioned the glass cannon, which means, for anyone that isn't familiar with that phrase, means that there's a high potential to do a lot of damage, but they are not very resilient. So they're going to hit hard, but they're going to die quickly if you're not careful. So part of your game plan is going to revolve around some of your fighters dying. So you need to work on your positioning to make sure that they are dying in the right order. So as much as you can control that. So
cool, very cool. So we have all that. We have boards. We have what we're looking for in our hand. We've gone through the glass cannon. Trace, how are you dismantling Hexbane hunters? How are you playing against them?
It's kind of like it's a little bit more of a math problem for you, because you have to really kind of be surgical in how you take these guys out. There's a certain order that you probably want to try and approach them in. Probably Bridget first. So if you're talking about just trying to kill them in a certain sequence, Bridget and then Amos would probably be the first two you want to go after, and then Pock after that. And you want to save Haskell till the end, because you don't want to inspire Amos, because he'll come in and wreck your face. And know that, like, if you save the dogs and then Pock dies, they're going to be harder to take out, and they the first one you kill doesn't take you don't get any glory for it. So I guess the best way to say this is, no matter what poison you choose, you're going to have some struggles along the way, but I think Bridget and Amos are the first that you probably should get rid of, just because of their utility and the fact that Amos can just wreck you if he gets the right upgrade.
Bridget being the one source of innate 3 damage makes her a prime target to be the first target to go down, one to go down.
Yes.
Albeit you have to be adjacent. So like the thing to remember with her card is that, like, while she has that on her card, you have to be adjacent to get that option. So she can still plink you from 3 hexes away with the pistol, but when she gets on top of you, she has a 3 damage attack in the pipe ready to go.
Yep.
So as long as it's the first time she's attacking with that volley.
Correct.
This round.
Yep.
So some really, really cool stuff there. A lot to be said, a lot to digest. So that brings us to the new player rating. And this is going to hurt my heart and soul to say this, gentlemen, but we're going to give it a bronze. And the reason for the bronze is because this is a new player rating. So we're approaching this from Rivals. They see this wonderful warband. They pick up the warband box, and now they're trying to learn to play Underworlds. And this is not a very friendly new player warband. This is a warband that you're going to want to spend time with, because it really is matchup dependent and card dependent, right? Like everything that you lay out on the board and every activation that you're taking is trying to achieve these objectives, and you're going to need time to play through that, especially in Rivals. Just to list it all off is why a new player may struggle. There's various inspire conditions on almost every single one of these fighter cards. There's low wound count, so almost any other warband can single shot almost all of your fighters. There's only 4 surges, which means that you have to play the long game and work and build those end objectives. But it really is an excellent warband, and they have every tool they need to be successful. It's just going to take a lot of practice and really playing those matchups. So stamp it with the bronze. I'm sorry. In my book, they're platinum.
Love it.
So that brings us to Rivals Plus. So we didn't kind of go through the show notes. So Jerod, if you're playing this warband in Rivals Plus, where do you think you're going? Like, what deck are you selecting to build with them?
Yeah, so I mean, I think that it's hard not to say essentials.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay, so say essentials then.
So we've talked about essentials before, and the surges are not great. But Branching Fate is in there, and that's a good one for them. They have several options for 3 dice attacks.
Yep.
But I'm thinking about, I mean, even for them, maybe even like great speed makes sense. So you can get the dogs to move 5 or one of the other fighters to move 4. You've got great strength in there. You've got Glory Seeker. You've got Fighter's Ferocity. So it's really gonna, like, I mean, you put Glory Seeker, great strength, and Fighter's Ferocity on one of the dogs, and suddenly, boom, they're doing 4 damage. Or you've got the built-in, they're in faction Glory Seeker. So that one's tough, right? Like, it's hard not to say essentials, but
there's some other cards in the essentials. So the struggle I have with essentials is Branching Fate is the only surge I like. Strong Start is the only other one that maybe, but that's a stretch.
Right.
The other objective is to Trace mentioned it, throw in Pure Carnage, right?
Yeah.
But
It's so good.
Which is really good because that's 5 glory for you dying and killing people, and it's all fun and great.
Right.
Upgrades are the wheelhouse for essentials. Like, I'm getting these free upgrades of Glory Seeker, Fighter's Ferocity, Great Fortitude, Great Speed, and Great Strength. I'm cooking with gas. But in the Gambit part, the only thing that I'm like really, really jazzed about is Inspired Attack, Sidestep. Like, I don't like Inspired Attack is great. A Sidestep's great. Okay. But do I want to build my warband around Mighty Swing? Maybe.
Yeah.
But I don't have a lot of really good, other than the woodcutter. I don't have a lot. So it starts to lose. But I'm saying, like, essentials is the staple of Rivals Plus. You'll be fine if you build with it.
So that said, we talked about this on the last episode. I think I kind of like Sudden Revelation. I mean, not so. I like Sudden. I like Vainglorious Raiders.
Why? I'm with you. I'm with you, and I think this is it. So let's bring it home.
So Sudden Revelation, right? You have enough fighters to move around, and the dogs get free move whenever somebody else moves. So that's easy enough, right? Contest of Equals. It's a great surge. You've got lots of opportunities for, like, your own fighters on your extra defense to roll, like, the 1 crit to block the success, whatever the case is. I mean, in Cold Blood, your fighters are either going to be alive and kill somebody, or they're going to be dead. Right? Like, with the low wound count, it's not likely. Yes, but there it is. I'm looking at it right now. Lost Leader. So 2 glory. We talked about this card. It's not the best, but if your leader's out of action, that means that Dunkero is inspired. So
yes,
I think there's a lot to love in here. Fearless Seekers. You've got fighters in enemy territory.
And the thing with Fearless Seekers is you don't have to hold those, right? They just have to be on on feature tokens, so the dogs fill that. Fallen Titan, we don't talk a lot about like that, but if there's a 4-wound fighter out there, you're gonna score that.
Oh, that's true. Yep. Yeah, that's a good point. And then you've got all the what else is in here? Elite Advance. Audacious Move, so +2 move to friendly fighters in the next activation step. So, like, you move somebody, right?
Yeah, so we're
Pock, and then all of the dogs get +2 move because that
you charge with Pock. So if you charge with Pock,
or charge with whomever
with a range 3 fighter, right?
Yeah,
they can make that, and now the dogs can move 6.
Yeah. And then Elite Advance is you get 2 hunters in enemy territory, you get guard tokens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You're giving yourself a push with Shadow Lure, right? So that can help with your things.
Pushing the dogs around.
Yeah, Reckless Rush, the other thing too, is like, I don't care if I'm taking a wound, I only have 2 wounds anyway.
Yep.
So now I'm doubling my move characteristic, going to 6.
Yep.
and getting across.
Yeah.
I like that one. Step Between the Shadows helps with my move as well, so I can push into a Gloom Hex and then move across.
Penumbral Dirk. You throw that on Haskell and it gives him a melee attack.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Like, so the weapon upgrades can definitely help your lack of on Pock or Haskell. So, and then you have Shadow Spear, which if you're on the cover hex now becomes a very reliable damage dealer.
Another defense.
Mm-hmm.
Another +1 defense.
I actually think that the other deck that we reviewed in that same episode is not a bad option either. I'm just looking through it.
You're talking about the 2 surge one. That's where
I'm talking about Patient Lurkers.
Yeah, it only has a couple surges in it.
So it's like 3 surges.
There's but you only need a couple really.
Yeah.
So you got Contest of Equals, Unequal Contest, and Lured In.
Lured In is not. Yep. Throw it away.
But I'm just saying but you have 2 pretty solid ones, and that's really all you need.
Okay.
The other surges in your rival's deck are pretty good. So, and then you've also got things like Abyssal Summoner. So if you're looking to really crank up Amos during attack actions made by this fighter, if this fighter is in a cover hex, this fighter is considered to have 1 additional supporting fighter. So there's you put that upgrade on him, you charge him in, the dog reacts. Now you've got double supports with your Woodcutter's Axe.
Mm-hmm.
Dark Strength, just a +1 damage as long as you're targeting somebody in a cover hex. If you're in a cover hex or whatever. Cursed Cutlass to give you some extra glory because you're going to be bleeding some. I mean, I just think that I think both of those most recently crafted decks can give you some options.
Yeah.
I do like Vainglorious Raiders though, but I was just looking for another option in case some folks don't necessarily like them.
The bounty. Oh, so the bounty. It doesn't give you an extra. It just means the bounty is spent.
Yeah.
This is like, could we like totally double down on Cursed Cutlass and what you call it, and our +1 glory, but we can't.
Oh no. Yeah. No. Yeah. The cursed weapons, when you are taken out of action, your opponent gains. But no, you gain spent glory, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm. You are right. Like you overcome, like even those 2 surges will help that deck. That's really all they need is 2 more to kind of.
And then like if you look at Chum in the Waters, right? 1 or more enemy fighters are each on a feature token, and 1 or more of those fighters have 1 or more wound counters. If you talk about Haskell, like he's going to be plinking you, so you're like that's a 2 glory in phase there. I mean, there's some good ones in both of the decks, but like that. So there's options for you. Like if you go straight essentials, you've got all the upgrades in the world you could ever want, and some decent surge. I mean, 1 decent surge, and then you've also got a 3 glory, everybody's dead card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, both decks have Live for the Fight, which can really help you with Amos too, because it's a brawler. So it gives you +1 dice, period. And then if the brawler can make each attack action they make, it's +1 dice instead. And then, but in Raiders deck, they have Unfazed, which will give them an additional defense dice.
Nice, yeah.
So, like, but you are 100% like those 2 decks pair very well. To the point where, yes, I'm not getting the damage that I need, like, but that's really all to me, that's all I'm going to get out of Essentials.
Yeah.
Is some really good utility gambits that are general purpose gambits, and then some really good upgrades where I think that the gambits in the other 2 decks allow you to round it out. They overcome some of the movement things that you're lacking.
If you want to lean into the dogs, as well, the Patient Lurkers also has Ferocious Bite, so you get +2 dice to an attack action on the dog.
Yes. Or just +1 to anyone. So
right. Yeah, super flexible for this warband.
There's also a draw mechanic in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And then you could just go the opposite way, where the other one was lead from the front, or lost leader was in the other deck, which is still in here. But you also, isn't this the one where it's like you're leading from the back, lead from the rear? So
Yep.
yeah, you can lead from the rear and then bring them up and hopefully score lost leader. Yeah, there's some definitely good cards in here to play it out as well. I just like that there's multiple options. So
Yeah. It's good design. Good job, GW. Good job.
GG.
GG, and some great models and great thematic stuff to kill all those pesky guard players and exiled dead players and all that.
Yep.
But with that, we're going to take a break. We're going to pause here so we can get a timestamp to come back and talk about this so teased universal card that's coming out.
And we're back, and that'll wrap up the show. So we would like to thank everyone for joining and listening. If you would like to share our podcast with anyone, you can do that we'll get there, Jason. I see your face. Don't worry about it. We got to do the needfuls. We got to do the needfuls. So yeah, we're on Twitter, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram. Twitter is Battle Mallet 1. Instagram is Battle Mallet PCast. We're Battle Mallet Podcast. On Facebook. We have a Discord. You can find the link to the Discord in the show notes. We're in there pretty regularly talking about hobby. We've got some local gamers in our gaming community that chat things up. So we're not the only ones driving conversations there, which is always exciting. Yeah, and we're in basically every major podcast platform. So just tell your friends. Yeah, and we love feedback. So hop in the Discord, comment on Facebook. If you've liked our episodes, comment on our blog. We have a blog. There'll be a blog for this episode that'll come out. The link to it will also be in the show notes, but it's just blog.battle-mallet.com for that. So the needful's out of the way. Jason's got another note.
Yeah, I want one more needful. Just a big shout out to McCrat and Underworld's DB and Davey and Phil over on What the Hex, because it's without the preview of that podcast and getting this stuff up onto deckers that Underworld's DB onto the deck building site, that it allows us to be able to do this a little bit early before the website comes out. And and Davey and Phil have been putting out some great content over there. They've given us a bunch of shout outs. So if you're listening to this and you don't know about what the heck is wrong with you, get the hell out of here and go over there and listen to them. They're a great time. So
yeah.
With that, we want to talk about one championship card that'll come out in this set. And I love it being a Godsworn player. I think it will provide me with great utility, but there's a little bit of controversy around here.
Yeah.
So my question to you is, how is this card resolved? The card is Drifting Tides, and it's a domain. So we haven't seen a lot of domains out there in this season. It's a ploy, and it says Drifting Tides, domain. Keyword reaction. Bolded. At the end of the action phase, pick one. Give a fighter one upgrade from your hand. Do not spend any glory points when you play that card. Or pick one objective token, then move that objective token into an adjacent hex. This effect persists until the end of the round or until another domain gambit is played. So the reason I love it is because I can get a free upgrade out right onto Godsworn. Great utility for any other warband out there. But also we've seen this rise of objective play. Granted, it doesn't affect Gloom, so there's still all those warbands that love to sit on Gloom. But I can now move an objective token out from underneath my opposing player to stop some double supremacy builds that are out there. But we've seen other domains that are played more traditionally. My question is, it says reaction. It has this effect persists until the end of the round, but the reaction is happening at the end of the action phase. So Trace, When do I play this card?
That's the question, isn't it?
It is.
It's
what are
not
your
clear.
thoughts on it?
I think that you are supposed to play it at the end of the action phase. I think that there is one particular grammar choice, word choice that is lacking in this card that is present in pretty much every other reaction card in the game.
You're right.
And it is the word play. One word missing from this sentence makes it very ambiguous. If it read reaction play at the end of the action phase, there would be zero issues with this card. I love it. I think it's going to be awesome. But alas, it is not clear. So I don't know if Jerod has a different opinion on this.
I disagree. I think that the silence is deafening in that lack of play word. I think that the lack of play makes it very clear when this card is played, and I think it is played as any other gambit during your power step. So you could play it at any point during your power step. And because it's a domain card, it persists, and then you use the reaction after the card is in play. Because to your point, Trace, every other gambit reaction that where the card is played as part of the reaction has play this card after the reaction keyword. This one does not. So without that, I think that the card is played during a power step, and then the reaction happens at the reaction window.
So you're saying it's not used as a reaction to an action in the turn.
Correct. It is played just like you would play sidestep or center of attention or inspired attack or whatever. But the card effect does not take effect until the trigger is hit. And there are other cards in the game that are gambits that are played, but the action on the gambit there are gambits that are played that have reactions on them.
Yeah.
But you don't key the reaction until the trigger for that reaction happens.
I agree with you.
That those cards exist.
That those cards exist. I'm not. I agree with your stance, and I agree with my stance. Like, I think that it is definitely something that you play as a ploy. You can. The problem is that it's not clear either way. There's missing text either way. Because it is not clear to me if it's because any other reaction you play, right?
Yep.
There's usually it says reaction, and so you're automatically thinking I can use this in a window, right?
Yep.
Instead of using it as a traditional ploy. I think that if you play it that way, it needs to say something like, play this card during your power step.
But do any other gambits say play this card during your power step?
There are no they don't. However, all the reaction cards have very clear reaction windows, though.
Stormforge Tactics does not say play this card during the gambit step. So
it does not. It does not. It is also an old card that has old verbiage.
Okay, fair. That's fair.
Like, that's pulling a relic out of the vault from the very first warband ever.
Okay, so they always don't say play this after, right? So there are cards that say reaction after an enemy fighter's move action. So that is something that happens in the turn that you're playing the card to take effect after that window.
But
the reason I do agree with you, Jerod, though, is because it is a persisting ploy.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that keys to me that it is actually meant to be played in the power step, is because it's a persisting ploy.
Yeah.
I don't agree with either of you, because it literally says reaction. So let me give you some other things here. Trap. Here's a trap.
You're a trap.
It's an illusionary oh my lord. Why did I pick
illusory
maze? Maze.
Yeah, okay.
Right? Keyword trap. Reaction. So that, like, because it says trap, I should play this early.
But does it say trap and then reaction? Does it say play this?
It says reaction after an enemy fighter's move action. If that fighter has one or more illusion upgrades, give that fighter 1 charge token.
Oh my gosh, have we been playing these cards wrong the whole time?
But why, like, to my point is, why is this even out there? Because the first, like, it's a keyword. I get it. It's a domain. And I understand that the end text is persist until the end of the round. But, like, it says, the first word is reaction. Let me give you another one here. So, cautious maneuver. The bold word says maneuver. So do I play that and then I react during the thing? Like, reaction, play this after, like, right? Play this after is what clarifies it. But, like, it is either missing play this after or play this before or something. But to me, it is like the reaction keyword is right there. So it should be played at the reaction window. Because there is. Go ahead.
Yeah. So was the one that you just read, Jason, was poison traps? Is that right? No, it's a different one.
It's a different one.
So this is another domain card that has the exact verbiage I'm talking about. Domain, you can make the following reaction. Reaction, use this card after an enemy fighter's move action. So there's
so maybe that's the verbiage that's missing is domain.
You can
make
the following reaction.
reaction.
So it's either using that. So if it's meant to be played in the power step, like Jerod is saying, there's missing verbiage either way. It either needs to say play or it needs to say you can make the following reaction. Because then that reaction is defined and it tells you when it happens, because it says you can make the following reaction, and then it says when that's supposed to be used. And it also has the same verbiage at the bottom, like all the domains do, which says this effect persists until the end of the round or another domain gambit is played. So I think it's a typo and it's missing text, and it needs to say you can make the following reaction.
Okay.
The domain is played.
I got it. So here's my rebuttal to that. Page 40 in the rulebook, reactions. Or a gambit, so this is talking about like fighter cards, upgrade cards, or a gambit card is in your hand in a reaction step if the situation described on the card matches what is happening in the game. So I'm reacting to the end of the action phase.
As written, we are currently all right. As written. That's the problem. Like, there's no defined way for you to play it. Like, you can play it as a reaction at the end of the phase. You can play it as a domain card in the power step, like what Jerod's saying. Like, there's nothing that's stopping you because the window is not defined.
Talk to your TO.
So, but yeah, and that's where the only thing. So this is the only little chink in my armor where I say it's reaction. Is what is that? That's that statement again from the rulebook. It says a gambit card in your hand in a reaction step. There is no defined reaction step for at the end of the action phase.
Right. Yeah.
There is a defined. Oh wait, I may be wrong. I might be right there. It says action activation step ends. There is a little reaction thing right there. So after an activation step begins, action activation step ends.
Yeah, but
it's not phase. It's not phase.
And the action phase is the end of the power step.
Correct. So there currently is no.
Is there an end of power step reaction window?
Not that I could see.
Nope.
Yes.
The only one that I can think of is the boots.
It would be after so there's a reaction step after a power step. So it's power step. It would be the last power step after the last activation in the round. There would be a reaction step, then an inspire step, then a surge step, and then you would go to scoring. But is that reaction step at the end of the action phase?
Right. That's the thing is, like, which is why I think that of all of the readings, yours is probably the most accurate, Jared. That you play it as a regular power card, but
And
it's
it
just
needs
missing.
you
It's
can make the
missing that
following
text.
reaction text.
That's correct. You add that text, you play it as a normal gambit, and now everything is solved because you know exactly when it's going to be done.
Okay.
And it gives an opportunity for somebody to turn it off.
Correct. I will agree with that opportunity. Like you give an opportunity to turn it off. I also agree that it is not defined that there is a true end of action phase, a very clear reaction step, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
We can infer that, but it's not clear.
Yeah.
Then if I play this domain in that, let's say it all pans out and I can react to the end of the action phase, then it opens up other reaction windows for the other reactions to domain cards. But let me throw this at you. So right now, this card is making it into my deck. Let's say the TO says, you want to know what? You have to play it during the power step, which gives you access to it at the end of the action phase. But the other domain cards none of them specify, well, I shouldn't say none of them. Certain ones do not specify friendly or enemy fighters. This one being that type of domain card. So if I play this, would my opponent not have an opportunity to use its reaction at the end of the action phase?
I don't think so because I think it's your card.
Yeah.
Okay.
But, hold on, let me find the verbiage again because I'm down a rabbit hole on Underworld CB. Okay, no, not faction filter, set filter, gambits, domain. All right. Actually, I could probably get rid of the set filter now. Okay. Poison traps. You can make the following reaction.
Go to creaking ceiling.
Hold on. I'm working on. All right. Circle of the Silver Gravesalt. Domain. Enemy
I
fighters.
was just reading
Okay.
that one, Jason.
Creaking ceiling. Domain. Each time a fighter is driven back. Okay. So that applies to everybody. All right. Drifting Tides. That's the one we're arguing about.
Yep.
So we'll skip that one. Drowning Warriors. Reaction after a domain gambit is played. Okay, that's not actually a domain card. All right, when a fighter is pushed. Okay. So reaction at the end of the action phase, pick one. Give a fighter one upgrade from your hand. Or pick one. Okay, so it doesn't say.
This is why it's worded as
fighter.
This is why it's worded as a reaction, though.
Could I give one of your fighters one of my upgrades?
There's one reaction window, right? We've learned forever that there's one reaction window.
Right.
So it to me, it is meant to be played on your fighters only because of that reaction stipulation. If it just said at the end of the action phase, pick one. If it didn't say reaction, at the end of the action phase, pick one, then both of you get to do it.
And I think this goes back. I think what's missing is you can make this reaction.
Yeah.
I think if you put that phrase at the beginning, like under the keyword domain, then I think it solves the problem. The real question is, what was the intent of the card?
Yeah, the real question is the intent. Because then I'm going to throw.
Who's got the designers on speed dial? Who do we?
What's the email address?
GWPLC, right? Isn't that what it is? Like
it's a Wonderworlds, WH Underworlds at gwplc.com. Everyone email them. Ask them about Drifting Tides.
Yeah, because the other.
When can this be played? Can my opponent use it?
Because the other define that we have is the other new card, which is kind of defining the meta or could be defining the meta, is Whirlpool. It's a domain. When a fighter is pushed, it cannot end that push further from no one's territory. It is possible that the fighter is not pushed. If it is not possible, the fighter is not pushed. This effect persists to the end of the round or until another domain gambit is played. Again, I play it, and it affects everyone.
Yeah, when a fighter is pushed. Yep.
So Drifting Tide, if we're going with I play it, I think anybody can react, and that means that this card is trash and it's not going out there. Like,
Yeah, but only one player would get to react, right?
Correct. And like I'm the one that brought it, and you're the one that gets the upgrade.
Yeah.
Forget that.
Yeah.
Depending on who ends up ending the turn first.
Yeah.
So if you're going through the if I finish my activations first, I score first. That means that I have the first opportunity to react to that window.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
But all of that is cleared up if you say you may make this reaction.
Yep.
So
because you played the card, so you have the opportunity to make that reaction.
Nova TO, whoever you are, I need a rules clarification because the card, if it is a reaction that I get to play,
it's really good.
It's really good for Godsworn Hunt. It's really good for anti-objectives.
It's really good for pro objectives. If you get knocked off in the power step, you could suck one back underneath you.
Correct. So I think it gets Forsaken because I don't know how it's gonna go.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Right.
Thank you all for indulging me down this rabbit hole that is Drifting Tides.
We're all right and we're all wrong at the same time.
Yeah.
Damn it, I'm right. You're
maybe
wrong.
That's what we'll name this segment. We've got another Drifting Tide segment.
There we go.
Oh, so yeah, so that's
down the whirlpool we go.
Yeah, we went down that whirlpool, didn't we? There were some poison traps along the way.
There sure was.
And I'm just a drowning warrior.
I'm glad I'm wearing my faceless mask so I can not drown on my way down.
That's right. It's okay. I got a breathing tube. We're all good.
You do. Because this was a really refreshing episode. Talking about the witch hunters. It was very purified waters. So
nice.
It's fun.
We're just throwing it all out there.
Is that better?
It's like it's just full circle of silver grave salts. It's just fun.
Nice.
Just drowning warriors all the way down.
That's right.
Just yep.
Blood.
Now they're tainted because you used one twice.
Oh no. Well, I guess we could consider our lives well spent.
Oh, way to go.
Oh my gosh.
So another shout out now that we're closing the show and we're just rambling and making terrible references to cards and puns. Nova is fast approaching. There are a ton of events left, specifically around Underworlds. Please join us. Beat my face in. I'm fine with it. I'm just happy to roll on dice. We will be playing a lot of Marvel Crisis Protocol there that weekend as well, too. So stop on by. It is a great event. We're looking forward to the Cantina and everything it has to offer. A bunch of us are going up on Wednesday. We'll be there all Wednesday. Jerod and Trace are playing Age of Sigmar on Thursday. Danny and I, and hopefully a couple other, Jimmy and Gerard, are hanging out on Thursday. So free day. Come by, say hello. Get in your Grand Clash on Friday. Hopefully it's just Friday. Beat some face from Marvel Crisis Protocol on Saturday, and then bring it home on Sunday. So come join us, have some fun. With that, Jerod.
Yep. Let's take us out. So I guess that's it.
That's it
for the Battle Mallet podcast. Man, we've used up all we've used them all up. We are three unworthy souls.
Could you say we've spent all our glory?
Good. Easy targets.
Yeah.
Grave Barons.
Trace.
This is Jerod signing out.
This is Trace denying some domains on his way out.
No, that was pretty good. Well, I'm glad you all stayed with me. It's a real conquest of an episode. So I'm Jason Table Doombury. Get the hell out of here.
Peace.
The Battle Mallet podcast is protected under the Creative Commons license. If you have further questions as to its use, you can find more information via links on podcast.battle-mallet.com. Music by Anno Domini Beats.
The name is Grand Lady, one of the dogs. Oh, man. uh, uh, uh.